Welcome to the second half of Shark Week 2023, where we talk about how cool sharks are and ignore the fact that we extended this series into Shark Fortnite. I refuse to make a Fortnite joke here. Anyway, we're gonna ignore that premise anyways, and talk about something way cooler than sharks. Actually good and interesting isekai titles. I mean, there's still a shark in this title, so we can still tie into Shark Week at least. In fact, there's multiple sharks when I think about it. But anyway, I hope you're ready for a doozy, because this is going to be a long one that I've been meaning to talk about for a while too. Welcome to the world of magic, crime, and mystery that is Dead Mount Death Play. I really wanted to do this one earlier, but three things made me delay this until now. First, it was getting an anime in April, so I wanted to cram that into this review if possible. Second, it's written by Nevada, who has also... well, he's also the writer of Fate/Strange Fake, which got its anime TV movie released, and then I reviewed it in July, so it kind of lined up with Shark Week as well. And thirdly, it had a shark in it, so I could force it into this special, and I could justify doing Killer Shark at the same time. The stars just happened to align for me to tackle this title, and I'm so glad I can get everything I want to say about this now out of me, because, well, spoiler alert, I fucking love this title. This series is one of those rare titles where I would consider them so close to perfection. I just love every aspect of this manga, and this was the title that really got me into Nevada's works. Like, if it wasn't for Dead Mount Death Play, I might just shorten it down to Dead Mount, I would have never tried Fate/Strange. So, you can thank this piece of work for making me a Fate fan, and allowing me to shit all over your lesser Fate titles. I mean, let's be honest, Redline could be better. And while I'm at it, you know what else could be better? The fucking original Studio Dean anime. You know, I'm not going to start this. Also, I'm going to be doing my best to not spoil anything for you, well, Dead Mount Death Play, that is. I could go on for hours with anything I love about this title, but I'm just going to give you the highlights and kind of treat this video as a travel guide of sorts. What can you expect if you read this sort of video? If you want to try me for more details, I'm gonna try streaming more often again on my Twitch channel, DXT the DXT Agenda, or alternatively, you can go and bug me on Discord. My server is in the YouTube channel banner. Because I really love this title, and there's things I want to say, but I won't, because once again, I want you to go in blind to this. But if you ever want to hear more thoughts and you start reading it, feel free to hit me. I will be so glad to talk this with you guys. Anyway, enough stolen. Let's get to the synopsis. Here's the basic synopsis. Our protagonist, Corpse God, his real name is spoilers. Like, it's like pretty late spoilers, so I won't say it. Is a long-lived necromancer who has been seeked out by this cult who wants to purify all evil, and they sent their strongest warrior to crush him. You should know he's good at crushing. His name is Calamity Crusher. It's in the name. Anyway, as Corpse God is about to die, he activates a special spell, which he's prepared to reincarnate him in the body of his next of kin. This spell does fuck up, or does it? And he finds himself reincarnated in the body of a teenager in modern-day Shinjuku, finding himself chased by an assassin who's after the original owner of the body. After killing and then, I guess, not resuscitating, reanimating the would-be assassin, he decides to hook up with the local mediator to achieve his ultimate goal, a peaceful life. Keep that goal in mind, because it really sums up our main character's motivations, and more importantly, his mentality. Anyway, if you weren't sold by that, I don't blame you. In fact, you shouldn't be sold by that. It's a very generic reverse isekai premise, and so if that didn't work on you, good job. You're like literally everyone else that I recommend this title to you, because guess what? That's not the selling point. and it should never be the selling point. What I'm going to say next is going to be the thing that should sell you to read this title. The main selling point of the series is really about the mystery, because what really drew me to this work specifically was the way the world is set up, with cool and interesting characters being just a lovely side benefit. Their main hook is the setting, though, because of how Narata treats this world. Like how he treats the extended Fateverse to give us lore-rich characters, which also expand on the Fateverse, and also warps what a Greater War can be in Fate/Strange. He does the same here. He turns the entire setting of this world into one big mystery. And it's a well-written mystery too, mainly due to how it's been set up. When I think about that, the person doesn't really work, but the point is, Narada is a mastermind when it comes to using a world to inform how his story will work. Or play out, I guess. Anyway, I think the best way to explain this setup is like this. The best... Fuck me, this is what I get for going off script and then trying to go back on script. So just think of it like a cake shop. Let's imagine Narada is like a pastry chef. And we, the audience, come into the store at the start of the day. Narada then spends the first hour getting all these lovely cakes out. And, we start eating these cakes. And they're so fucking good and satisfying. But as soon as we finish one, it's immediately replaced with another cake. And that cake is just equally as good. And this is a cycle that just keeps going and going. And it's like each cake builds on the previous cake. So it just keeps getting better and better. Okay, that was a weird analogy with weird implications. But the point I'm trying to get across is that Dead Mount is set up in a way where it makes you invested with what it presents, and then it keeps you hooked by this never-ending cycle of amazing yet satisfying reveal, which also sets up more questions for you, and then gives you incentive to keep reading because you want to find out more. For example, and this is going to be hard to do without spoilers, so let's find an early example here. I guess it's not a very good example, but this is probably the best one I can use here without doing spoilers. So let's do the Troublemakers example. So early on, we get a scene with our little detective group, composition group 3, I believe. And, they're in charge of catching these somewhat supernatural criminals, which they call Troublemakers. They mention, like, the Grocer, Phantom Solitaire, and Firebug, and a couple other characters like Lemmings. And normally, this would be, like, filler world dressing with no payoff. Like, what's the point of mentioning these characters? Is it just to be like, ooh, here's some scary sounding bad guys, right? Except not here. Every single character I just mentioned is used again at some point. In fact, all 3 of them are critical members of this story. All just important to the mystery of this world that is being set up. And, I really want to get to Phantom Solitaire, that he's honestly the best, but we'll get to it. Like, the way Narada writes, he writes it in such a way where everything that is said, even in passing, even if it feels like filler dialogue, feeds back into the story at some point. There are no loose threads or plot holes, and once you realize that, you become hooked on the story. You begin to read each chapter, waiting to see what gets paid off next, and what new factors will be added to the story. It's a tightly written narrative, all because of how the story is set up. Or world, I guess, as well. And it's all because how he uses the premise, the setting, and characters' motivations. It's frankly a masterclass in the importance of setup and world building. And if you here's my first call to action. If you even want to know what a good mystery is like, you can start by reading this title, because I can tell you this is an amazing story. It's not complete, but you might as well get a head start. There's 102 chapters now. But yeah, it rewards you for paying attention and remembering its finer details, and that's what makes it a great mystery. I would love to provide more examples, but I really do not want to spoil more than I should. I'm already very cautious with what panels I use, so let's not rock the boat here. Something I do feel like kind of worth getting a little spoilery about is the characters. I'm going to make sure I stick around to the first, let's say 40, 50 chapters, or might lead into 60, which is like half, so maybe just 50. Yeah, we'll stick to the first 50 chapters here. We can talk about why that's the case later, if I haven't made it obvious that I really don't want to spoil you guys. But, God, I have a huge problem here. Because there's a lot of good characters I can use as examples to talk here about, and I really want to do like a deep analysis on each character, explain each character's motivation. But, yet again, don't want to spoil much, so let's just do my 3 favorite examples for this, all very early on. And that would be our main protagonist, Corpse God, Phantom Solitaire, and Sayo. Let's just say it first, because she's frankly a little easier and to explain, and probably my least controversial pick. And I should really just need to justify, pardon me, the Shark Week part of this video. So, Sayo is an excellent example of a comedy relief character where she can come in, say some wacky shit, and drop out again. What makes her stand out, though, is how often her wacky talking actually has meaning to it, and she's allowed to be this reasonable voice sometimes when one of the other characters aren't exactly thinking straight. Also, she's a Giga Shark fan. Like, she's the whole reason why this is a Shark Week video. You know, aside from the fact that the real Polka, which is Corpse God's name, well, the name of the body he's currently possessing, it's a whole thing. The real Polka isn't a shark dog. That's all you need to remember. It's called Sharkborg. He's in a Sharkborg plushie. Anyway, going back to why I like Sayo a lot, because she is so grounded compared to everyone else. I realize, and I realize that's a weird thing to say, considering in fact she's pretty much a shut-in from a wealthy family who also loves shark movies to death. But the rest of the cast are like undead cyborgs and generally not typically normal people you'll meet in your day-to-day life. So she becomes an excellent audience standard. She gets to say things we would want to say in certain situations, and often acts as an anchor to the other characters. Mainly Corpse God. Yeah, I mean, you don't get this impression until later on for her, but when she was allowed to have this moment with Corpse God, it was one of my favorite character moments in the series. For both her and Corpse God. And I really don't want to spoil too much, but in the later chapters, within the current arc we're currently doing, I like that Nevada is allowing her to, I guess, put herself in the way of harm just because she wants to be able to help Polka. Sorry, Corpse God. I keep getting confused. Corpse God. Well, for reasons that I don't want to explain. Because spoilers. But yeah, let's talk about Corpse God, because I think he's really diverse, and I really want to come in and bat for him for a very good reason. So, Corpse God being this all-powerful necromancer, while also being a fish out of water in this modern setting, is stereotypical, sure. And that's certainly, well, I guess if you really want to be nitpicky, that is a problem you can have with this character. I just think it's not... I think you're just being I think at that point you're just being shallow. But like the problem I've seen though, when it comes to introducing people to the series through the anime, which I have my own problems with, is that they don't get Corpse God. And like before I said, it's a bit shallow because, the whole thing. But no, the problem that they always bring up is they either just find him irritating or just plain stupid due to his character motivation. So I'm going to use this chance that I have in this primer to explain and defend Corpse God. Because here's the thing. He's not irritating. And I think him being a little naive, not stupid, I mean, they're just the same thing. but naive is more accurate here. Like, him being naive works, because it just works for him. That doesn't really cover this, but when we're doing Corpse God flashbacks, it really sells how naive he is. I'm going to use naive a lot, because I didn't bother using it before when I wrote this. And that works for him, because, you know, he was sold as a child to a necromancer's apprentice, and there's this one perfect page from his master that just sums up what his true goal should be on screen, and yet, despite being a century ago, he hasn't matured. Because, you know, he didn't grow up with typical parent figures. You know, he grew up as teachers. Teacher was only keen in teaching him magic, not being a parent. He never grew. And yeah, and his master gets to have these lines about how she's very heavy-handed about how the longer sorcerers tend to live, the longer they tend to age. Well, Corpse God never being tied down by a normal life expectancy. In fact, he did die the first time, becoming, you know, well, an undead. You can say that he never matured over those years, because he never grew as a person back then, you know. And you would argue that he didn't grow at all, and when he becomes consumed by anger, he lost sight of that goal. And another line I like, they put emphasis on a lot, is that the reason why Corpse God is such a good necromancer is because of his sympathy for the undead. And he's, in a way, that he's kind of spineless. He's always doing what pleases others, not what pleases himself. Which is why he has such a childish ideal to fulfill, which is, you know, a peaceful life. And he thinks he could just achieve it like that. To pretend I snapped my fingers there. The Corpse God we get once he arrives at Shinjuku is a Corpse God that is very much an idealistic child. You know, one that thinks, you know, I can just have a quiet, peaceful life, despite the fact, you know, I'm currently possessing the body of someone who literally just had a hit put on them. And he's, you know, he has these powers that are not normal in this world. There are more layers to Corpse God, mainly dealing with his feelings of guilt and self-doubt. But a big investment in this story is his personal character growth. Like, when you aren't invested in the grand mystery of this world that's been presented to you, you're probably going to find yourself invested in the growth of Corpse God. And something else I really like about Corpse God that doesn't really fit into my argument defending him is that he has these interesting worldviews as a necromancer that I love, because it really affects how other characters develop because of him. Like, I won't spoil anything again, so I guess taking an early example from chapter 3, this whole chapter is about how he views life, that he views people's souls as toys, and he does, like, admit that as a necromancer, other people's lives are his toy. You know, he can do whatever he wants to their souls, but because children love toys, he treats them with respect and care. And I think that, once again, that line speaks volumes to what sort of person he is. You know, he's someone who very much is childish, someone that loves children and respects them. And he's a very respectful and kind person. But that's why he's so naive at the same time. And that's why there is no other protagonist I would love to follow more than Corpse God. He's just such a perfect fit for a narrative like this. One that forces people to confront their beliefs. One's for conspiracy and deception. He's so beautifully innocent for this corrupt story. And he's so beautifully written. And I think people just need to give him more time. Because he really does grow on you. Like, if you're not sold by chapter 3, and I mean, I would not fault you for not. but you will fall in love with Corpse God as you read this title. And that's my second call to action. Go read this title, please. If I haven't sold you at this point, just go. If that doesn't work, you will hopefully this next one will work on you. So speaking of perfect fits, Phantom Solitaire. I don't know what I need to explain, because if you read the manga like you should, I mean, this is the second, that was already been 2 times when I told you to do it. But, you all know why, but I guess as a primer, I could set you up for, Solitaire is the perfect protagonist. I know I just implied that Corpse God is the perfect protag, but Solitaire is a perfect fit for the other half of the story. If Corpse God is a story about a naive child growing up at last as he's forced to confront the darkness of this world he's been thrust into and its mysteries, Solitaire is an over-curious man-child who is doing everything in his power to find out everything he can about this world. He wants to find true magic, as he puts it. He reaps havoc with everything he does and has fun doing so. So, all in service of, like I said, true magic. And I think that works for him, that he's this brilliant, talented magician, but having found all the secrets of how to use magic itself, he wants to find true magic. Magic that doesn't rely on trickery. And in a way, if I'm going to use my Fate/Strange comparison again, he's this series Polarity. Both chaotic masterminds, using their talents and resources to reach their goals, and are both excellent point of view characters. Except the only difference is Polarity is sinister while trying to hide her true intentions by being cutesy, while Solitaire has people projecting the fact they think he's a genius, when really he's just fucking winging it. And he's always winging it. Even when he's trying to be serious, he doesn't think. And that's what really works for him. Like, oh my god. I love being able to follow his antics when we aren't following Corpse God. Seeing what he finds out about, all the mysteries of this world and all of the conspiracies within it. His dumb little antics he gets up to, and seeing what happens when whatever he does is crosses over with Corpse God's personal journey. He acts like an idiot, and then he lets slip his true goals in a friendly manner, and then you realize, no, he's actually joking. He is like the master of the bluff. And that's why he's so great and funny and absolutely wonderful. He's such a wonderfully fun character and a bright light for me in the anime. God, I want to talk more about the manga, but he would go into spoilers, so I won't. This being a new series. When newer series, unlike other titles I've done long reviews on, I don't feel comfortable divulging much more. Especially, once again, a key part of the enjoyment is the mystery and finding out things for yourself. And this goes double for the people inhabiting this world. Seo, Corpse God, and Solitaire are just excellent examples of the sort of characters you will find and encounter. I should use a counter during your voyage of this title. Wonderful supports, relatable people, and wonderful crazies. And that, by the way, was the third call of action. For the love of God, go read it. Right, so if you got into this point, you're either still waiting for me to sell you more on it, or you want me to talk about the anime. So, fuck it. You know what? You're sick of anime. We'll talk about the anime, but yeah, here's one more thing I want to talk about. So, yeah. Before we cover the recent anime, going back to the script, it was absolutely... let's talk about another slight problem I encountered while recommending this to people. The slow burn. The incredible slow burn. The amount of people I have encountered who have hated the pace of this manga is huge. And I do agree, it is a bit of a flaw. When it takes like 16 chapters at least, if I'm being generous. I mean, if I'm being realistic, it takes 18, give or take. If it takes at least 16 chapters to start paying off the setup, and then an extra 70 years chapters to hit some form of climax for the first major arc. Yeah, that is a slow burn, but that's why that's why it works, and that's why I love it. Like, this title wouldn't be as satisfying if we just rush to the climax every time. It would feel incomplete. But of course, you could get counterpoints about the action being very far in between at times. Like, you'll get an occasional fight once in a while, but they're so brief. So a lot of the manga is people standing around and talking, and I get why people don't like that. And you know what? Let's quickly bring about the newest set of 8 chapters from the latest volume. Do you feel like they're kind of mediating that problem? Because they decided, you know what, we're just gonna have we're just gonna have this big, nice, long action set piece arc we're gonna have right now. Because why not? And, you know, I like that too, but you know, no panels. Beat it. Nah. Anyway, where was I? I lost my point. Right, here we are. Here's the thing, right? The thing is, if you're actually paying attention to what's being said, the standing around parts become far more exciting than the actual fights, because that talking is important to the story. I think if you aren't ready to read a lot of dialogue and, you know, long-term setup, this is probably not the title for you. But I would still implore you to give it a go. At least read the first 20 chapters, because I would argue they start paying off the setup around then. Like, I mean, I said around 80, give or take. You know, just read 20, nice round number. I know it sounds like a tough ass, because that's like 2.5 volumes worth of setup. And I should know that. I checked.
It was off center because the point is, once again, me flexing that I wasted my money on something. It's hard to do this with one hand. I did check. Each volume is like, I probably showed something that I should. It's like 8 chapters worth. Some extra stuff at the back as well. Doesn't matter. There is the right side. I forgot. I printed the cover for this upside down. So yeah, it's like 8 chapters per volume. So it is about like 16 chapters. I am sad though that I did have to unseal these. Thankfully though. Ignore my flaw. I do have chapter 3 still sealed. And these are the only 3 volumes I have. So if you want to add to my waste of money, like my collection of figurines over here, including my Precious Say and art books I'm not showing, you can just come and join the Patreon. I promise you, I will use your money on shit like this. That's why you should enjoy the Patreon. Join the Patreon. Fund my crippling addiction for paper.
A lot of people aren't ready to commit to that. And, you know, considering the glacial speed we're getting new chapters at, a whopping 8 chapters per year at this rate, you should treat this as a slow burn. Like, read to follow while you're on the toilet or something. Trust me, it works.
I don't know where I'm going with this, alright?
Anyway, before I move on to my 1 paragraph rant about the anime, I do want to talk about the visuals of the manga. I know I don't do this a lot, but as a believer in manga as an art form, this has great visual moments. My favorite panels, though, are often the ones that involve the use of magic, because of the magic seal design is great, but also how they depict, like, necromancy is great. Like, this creepy black sludge. It's absolutely wonderful. But no, I think huge credit for this part, though, like, in terms of the visuals, goes to just how good the character design is. I love how visually striking these characters are. You know, that they feel like they should be out of place, but also normal for this world. And their style choices do reflect character history. Like Carissa wearing a monocle, where she used to have an eye patch in flashbacks. You know, you got Our Gnome's more cabaret host appearance. you know, despite being a detective, works because, you know, his usual activities of snooping around Shinjuku, you know, where he's in charge of catching troublemakers and looking after the peace. That's a ward in Japan that's well known for its nightlife. So it would make sense that he would dress more appropriately for his, well, environment. And of course, most importantly of all this, Sharkborg, who has a giant screw going through him because he's a shark that's also a cyborg. Okay, that was a joke, but the point is the character design here serves a purpose to the world, well, to the storytelling. Their appearance isn't designed to not only look cool, but it's informed by the story and world they live in, and that's why it's brilliant. I do want to give credit to the artist here, this being Shinta Fujimoto. Sorry, he said Muto. It's Moto, who you may know from Bakuno's manga adaptation and Red Raven. I haven't read these titles yet, but I thought it was worth mentioning, just in case you have read those titles. Yeah, but I do think they have a great eye for detail. So, well, at least character detail. So, thanks, man. Oh, woman, sorry, I shouldn't judge. No, I mean misgender. Better cover all my bases. Anyway, let's get to the hard part. The anime is fucking disappointing in his way. God, this one is going to hurt in more ways than one. But part 1 of the Dead Mount Death Play anime adaptation is just fucking terrible. I mean, with anime being a more popular medium than manga is, it's commonplace for publishers to convert their manga titles into anime, as it's a great marketing tool for the source material, while also having a guaranteed audience with the source material viewers. This should work, usually, but in cases like the Dead Mount Death Play anime, it just isn't a good introduction tool, and that's my problem with it. I mean, I have other problems with it, but I want to focus on this one first. Why is the anime a bad place for you, a potential enjoyer of this series, to start with? Well, let's begin with the original problem I highlighted, the manga. The main content of the series being people standing around and talking. Because it's an issue that's increased twicefold by the anime. Like, anime is a medium that excels at making things which require emotion look great. I know that sounds stupid, but like if you think of like examples like comedy manga, like manga that relies on like being able to animate expressions, or you know, shonen where animating fight scenes make those fight scenes way better. You know, other genres that require a lot of movement to translate what's going on. Well, those sort of things frequently translate well to anime because the ability to actually move adds to the fun of those titles compared to the manga adaptation. When it comes to Dead Mount Death Play, those standing around and talking parts just don't benefit from being animated, unfortunately, because nothing changes from the conversation, like from the conversion from the panels to the TV screen outside of being voiced and colorized now. Like, it's just feels wasted, I guess, is the best way to put it. And here's the thing, right? Like, it's still delivering the same content, and I guess that's what's important. But you can still improve on it with animation, because this has worked. Because right now there's like a really recent adaptation that is fairly relevant to this conversation yet again. Fake/strange, fake, Whisper of Dawn. So something I praised in my review of the TV movie for that series is the flair that added to the talking parts. While in the manga, they would stand around and talk. In the anime, they took advantage of the medium to add flair, be it from the background warping as Jessa rants, or Pilates moving around the office and doing little showy acts of acrobatics during her talk with Orlando. they took the chance they had with the medium to enhance these scenes and make it more entertaining to a more general audience, which may have a lower attention span, to be fair. And, I really appreciate that. It made waiting for these people to read out their lines more tolerable for me. Because, I'm a fast reader. That's how I tolerate a Dead Mount Death play. So, when it comes to the Dead Mount Death play anime, well, they could have done that. And I think people would be more happy to pay attention then. But they didn't. In fact, it feels like the actual mystery setting up in talking segments were left with the least amount of budget because they were banking on the action scenes to carry it. And I believe this because I can tell you by looking at the quality of the anime, it looks like fucking dog shit. Pardon me. When we aren't doing some action set piece. And I know this is the quality. I know this is the case. Because they decided to drag out some of these fights in the anime, and just look at the quality here. It's actually good. I actually enjoy these fight scenes a lot more. But yet again, I wouldn't get angry about the fight scenes, because like I said, I would be a hypocrite then, because, my whole point, animation enhancing, they did what I said and use animation to enhance the fight scenes, and that's great. My problem is that they should have done the same thing with the entire anime, the problem is they hyper-focus on the fights. And because of that, the actual main selling point, which is, the mystery, the characters, well, they suffered because of it in the anime. And, while I'm curbed on being the quality of this adaptation, we need to talk about pacing, because god damn, even I couldn't enjoy the anime due to pacing at times. We got the usual 12-episode season, that's your first part, and with the first 2 episodes being, the first 2 chapters? Yeah, that sounds about right, the first 2 chapters. That leaves, 8 episodes to pick up the pace. Well, considering by episode 6, we're ending the setup phase of the manga, which is chapter 17. Really? Chapter 17? I guess that does line up. Alright, so, this means we're covering 15 chapters within 4 20-minute episodes at that point. So they somehow have to cram in about 3 to 4 chapters into each episode. Sorry, I'm still a bit sick. You may think my problem then is the pacing is too fast, but it's the exact opposite. It feels way too slow, and I think that's because of the part I love so much. They're effectively cramming in 3 to 4 chapters worth of explanations and setup into each episode, with the occasional piece of action if you're lucky. And, what I can tolerate it, because I know what I'm signing up for, someone who doesn't most likely won't enjoy it. So as much as anime is a more accessible medium and a great litmus test to see if you're going to enjoy an adaptation's source material, I can't say Dead Mount Death Play is sadly one of those cases. Between its flip-flopping quality and how it exaggerates problems I already had, well, when it came to justifying you to read the manga, I cannot, in good faith, recommend this if you aren't a fan of the source material or you're looking into the series. Looking to get into the series, you are still better off reading the manga in this case. So, I have set you up with everything you should expect going to the manga and why you shouldn't watch the anime. So, what is there left to do? Well, I'm going to end this note on what should you do if you want to read it. Because, let's be honest, you should be reading it by now. If you made it to this point, you skipped ahead or some shit like that, I don't know. You should be reading it. That's all I'm going to say. It's, okay, but going back to the original question, what should you do if you want to read it? Well, while I would normally encourage reading scans and buying official manga through Japanese imports, this is one of those rare cases where the series is available with an English publication thanks to Yen Press. So I would highly encourage you to use their website to read it digitally, or buying physical copies from bookstores. If you want to buy physical copies, I would recommend Booktopia or Book Depositor. It's on the screen. Depending where you're located, because they do ship worldwide for free. It just happening to be in different hemispheres. So it just pick which one is just closer to you at that point. I know it's weird that I'm doing this. I don't normally shill for this sort of thing. In fact, this is the first time I am ever urging people to go buy volumes or something I'm reviewing. Because I usually just go like, look, here's me. I bought volumes. Maybe you could do the same. I don't know. But no, this time, no. I really think you should buy volumes of Dead Man Death Play. Because, well, I love Dead Man Death Play. It's currently one of my favorite titles of all time. And that's high praise coming from me. You can ask my friends about that. And as much as I seem like a gusher when it comes to reviews like this, like when I gushed about the silly little things like Smile on the Runway, for God's sake, Dead Man Death Play really deserves your attention. It is a certified banger of a series, and you won't find anything more interesting like this. Oh, something like this for what I'm going to say is a very long time. Just give it a try, even if you have to read scans of it. But if you do like it, do buy the official volumes like I have. It's cheap, and they are a reliable way of buying them now online, and you should vote with your wallet. Show the industry that well-written mysteries deserve more attention in both the Eastern and Western manga industries. Now, excuse me, but I need to rest my throat. God. And, while I'm at it, I'm just going to go back to Home Nation, because, we've got another year to wait for the next volume to drop. Poor Narada, he's probably being overworked between having the update Fate/Strange, fighting for FGO's story, and this. Oh, love you, man, but please do take a break. If you keep taking too many L's, you're not going to be able to write more L's. Wait, L's? W's. Fuck, damn it. I'm just going to go to bed. Okay, right. Third attempt at this. I'm just going to say it now. If you're a new viewer to this video, you can just leave now. Go watch something else. This is going to be far more coherent. God, I fucking hate my recording software, but okay, right. So, right. Hi, returning subscribers. I'm currently 4 vodka cruises in. So that's what it took for me to finish this fucking video. I thought you deserve an update on why this didn't come out in July like I planned. So here's the thing, right? This entire video, I could have had this done. Because I started editing this at like fucking 8 p.m. Despite whatever time I decided to tweet me doing the thing. What the fuck? I'm not bringing it up on my fucking computer. I can't be fucked. I just can't be fucked. I think it's the best way to put it. Yeah, I just can't be fucked. Yeah, so... Yeah, 26 minutes. I sent the picture 4 hours ago. 8 o'clock. So, and it took me to finish this video 4 fucking hours. So I could have had it out in July. But if you're very familiar with the shit I say on Twitter, the shit I type, the shit I say in my videos, I deal with depression really fucking badly. And this time the main culprit was this Halloween video. Why did I say December? I don't have any videos planned for December. It's been a video that has made me reevaluate a lot of things I do. And it did kind of made me just shut down. And what probably didn't help is that the following 2 months after that has been like the 2 worst fucking months of my life. I don't know, man. It's just... Anyway, we should be back to normal. The Halloween video should be out on Halloween. I still can't decide if I'm going to split into 2 parts, with its second, more ranty part coming out in fucking November on my birthday. I don't know if I'm going to do that, or I just have, like, nothing come out on my birthday. Maybe I have nothing until December. Who fucking knows anymore? I don't. At least, like, the fucking Killer Shark video did well. That's constantly bringing in views. That makes me happy. Another one that actually popped off without me knowing it was actually popping off secretly, is Black Goku. I know, so, Wataru-kun was also popping off, but that could. An anime announcement. I'm not going to talk about it, because my thoughts still haven't changed from the original video. Go watch that, if you haven't. And Halloween video is going to be fun. I'll see you for that. I promise you, I will not be drunk. And I will be actually comprehensive. That's the correct word. I'll be comprehensive. Okay, there's no outro. This is the outro. Bye.